Going, guys? How's it going? Y'all building back better out there? Well, I know I am. I mean, what do we got here? We got inflation up the ass. We got a new Build Back Better Act in the Senate. What about Bernie Sanders thinks of the Build Back Better Act now that it doesn't have any progressive legislation? It went into went into the House of Representatives with paid leave, paid time off, family leave, child daycare, student loan debt. Now we're building back better, guys. Joe Manchin, guys. You thought that Joe Biden, guys, was the. You thought that Joe Biden was the party leader, huh? Turns out, the lives were at risk. And Joe Manchin's the one telling the weather now. Something's been smelling weird ever since they pulled out this Build Back Better and started toting infrastructure, guys. I noticed infrastructure to be a theme. Infrastructure is a theme. It's a key phrase. It's a talking point. It's a buzzword. And that means that there's another plan of brewing. And I've been hoping to step on some Marauders map, some treasure maps, to lead me to the way of Mr. Biden. Because, guys, I hope you remember this. Previously on Tommy Nation Politics. She's going to ask the fucking Treasury to print out $1.2 trillion more dollars that we're going to fucking be raped by the Fed over. Corrupt cretins, and this isn't really a democracy for the future. But hey, at least as of today, we're finally trying. At least as of today, we finally. Guys, let's listen to that shit one more time, because this is when Rachel Maddow, the fucking Rhodes Scholar. This is when Rachel the fuck Maddow, Rhodes Scholar, smartest little fucking Hufflepuff in the Harvard Commonwealth, lays out for you the fine print in this bitch. Listen to this shit one more time. I want you to listen to it real carefully, though. I'm gonna turn the music off because I want y'all to listen to this. This is what's really happening, guys. This is what's actually happening. What they spend at home. So this is what President Biden is doing right now. Listen to this shit. 7:45 Eastern time. Listen to this shit, guys. And it's hard to believe that it's a coincidence that this afternoon, right before he went into his summit with Xi Jinping, there he was at a full-blown, crowded, multiple standing ovation, formal signing ceremony at the White House, celebrating the fact that he has just signed into law a $1.2 trillion investment in American infrastructure. But is it, Rachel? Now, granted, but is it, Rachel? $1.2 trillion is like a rounding error in terms of what China spends on infrastructure. Both what they spend at home and also around the world. The Chinese government building infrastructure projects in countries all over the place to basically buy influence and pay off foreign leaders to be pro-Chinese. They are way ahead of us in terms of infrastructure spending and in terms of building for the future. But hey, at least as of today, we're finally trying. At least as of the violent mob. Yeah, the violent mob, you know the thing. In personal terms, in terms of which autocrats he's talking about. So, we know he's talking about the autocrats. He spends a lot of time with Xi Jinping.
He's one of the guys like Putin who thinks that autocracy is the way to the future democracy.
A $1.2 trillion investment in American infrastructure. Now, granted, $1.2 trillion is like a rounding error in terms of what China spends on infrastructure. Both what they spend at home and also around the world. The Chinese government building infrastructure projects in countries all over the place to basically buy influence and pay off foreign leaders to be pro-Chinese.
Boom. Buying influence, paying off foreign leaders to be pro-Chinese. Joe Biden spends a lot of time, more than any president, more than any American, with Xi Jinping. He's always talking about how these autocrats don't think democracy can stand resolute. Maybe it's because you mock democracy, Joe. Maybe because this isn't a democracy, this is an oligarchy, and you are the funnel boy. You are the funneling of the wealth. You, the credit card boy in the 90s, the prison boy in the 90s. Now you funnel the wealth to the 1%. And not only do you do that, but you're also their bagman, their investment lackey, Joe. What the little Hufflepuff Rachel Maddow uttered got me to thinking a lot, guys. I searched and scoured the internet for the Marauders map, the treasure map, the Joe Biden's secret plan. Because I knew that it's a big club and We're not in it. He's never cared about us. Never. Never cared about the country. Never. Use this country as a fucking purse, bro. And that's what he's doing now. So I looked everywhere, guys, but the cat in the hat always told me the only way to find something is to find out where it's not. That's how we found his three-headed credenza. I found a little hint of a treasure map in some place I never would have looked, guys, because I hate these places. They're called think tanks. Think tanks, guys. They're liberal bastions of international and conglomerate corporatist Harvard Ivy League bullshit. They're the absolute creme de la poop. They're people who went to Harvard, Yale, of course. They're bored, and now they want to be fellows and senior economists on boards, where they can. Joe Biden can, with his dementia-addled face, go, Mr. Hillman, what is the economy going to do today, Mr. Hillman? He's going to say, well, because we extracted all the wealth from the working class and outsourced all the jobs, it's probably going to fucking cause inflation, and neoliberalism is going to make the country a shell of what it used to be during the Industrial Revolution. Oh, golly gee, Mr. Hillman was right. Now, of course, you know how the Build Back Better Act is being held by the Center for American Progress think tank near Tandon's old hood, and some avenues of liberal bastions are thinking this is going to cost $0, guys. But we know the deal, buddy. As blue collar American workers, guys, we know what time it is. We know what time it has been since 2008, when Barack Obama bailed out the banks with George W. Bush hand in hand, gave $0 interest on too big to fail bullshit. While the banks foreclosed on houses, they cracked the heads of peaceful protesters in Wall Street, they fucking gassed Native Americans at Standing Rock. We know how neoliberalism and corporatism works. And we know that there ain't no stopping. Can't stop, won't stop. It hasn't stopped, guys. The last 2 years have been horrible. They want to talk about labor shortages. Why don't we talk about the outsourcing of jobs? Why don't we talk about the living wage stagnant? Why don't we talk about how Trump was right 2 times in his life? The media is the enemy of the people. And China was killing us. Killing us by design, maybe. What do you call it when you outsource the jobs to Malaysian sweatshop workers? Then you send goods that are made here over to China to get approved. Then they send it back here and they tax us. I call that ripping us off. Well, guys, apparently that's infrastructure. That's not ripping us off. It's infrastructure. This infrastructure is a buzzword. It's a talking point. It's a smoking gun. It's an argumentative ad populum, guys. It's in the air, and it was programmed for us to hear. Oh, it means roads and bridges? Does it? Well, guys, I looked at Center for American Progress. Then I stumbled across this report from the Center for Strategic International Studies. It's a think tank as well. It's an international think tank, mainly used by China and us. It's used to foster active collaboration between the two of us. Active collaboration between the two nation-state powers. Yeah. So January 22nd, 2019, guys. This was 2 years ago. Maybe almost 3. So he sends this report out, guys. It's called Infrastructure International Strategy. John Hillman, Senior Fellow Economics Program Director from the Asia Project. Mr. Hillman explains that this report illustrates the state's use of foreign infrastructure to advance strategic objectives. Some avenues for influence are intuitive, while others require a more detailed understanding of how infrastructure projects are conceived, financed, built, and operated. With an eye towards illuminating current issues, this report draws from examples through history that shows that China is updating and exercising tactics used by Western powers along the 19th and 20th centuries, during the Industrial Revolution, when the corporations came to be, when they came out of dust, and monopolies were formed, and bargains were made, palms were greased, and corruption was born. With developing Asia alone required $26 trillion in additional infrastructure investment by 2030, these issues and the strategic implications they carry are likely to intensify in the coming years. You think Joe Biden, who spends all his time with Xi Jinping, knows this? Knows that their $26 trillion in additional infrastructure investment by 2030 will intensify in the coming years? So now he dips his hand into $1.2 trillion of the American people's money to try to. Rachel's right. It is a drop in the bucket. It's a, what did she say? It's an error. $1.2 trillion to $26 trillion. China's kicking our ass on infrastructure. But Joe Biden wants a piece. But he's made us all think this is roads and bridges and broadband. This is for us. This is for our country. This is for outsourcing, guys. This is for something, not neoliberalism, not globalism. This is neoliberal globalism. This is infrastructure for the elites. That's what this is. Strategic implications for infrastructure. I just love it how politicians use words, and the words are completely not what they mean. We're going to reroute. We're going to go ahead and reroute. Illuminating. I'm this research paper, or report, sorry, because he's an economist. He's a fellow economist, cited from the Pennsylvania state. So he wrote the Strategic Stakes of Foreign Projects, January 22nd, 2019. I know Joe Biden's been spending a lot of time with Xi Jinping, so maybe he's picked up more than just complaints about how democracy can't be resolute in the face of the future. Maybe he's caught wind of $26 trillion in additional infrastructure investments. Maybe Joe Biden wants to upgrade from bagman to the credit card industries and the prison industries to bagman for the elites. Because why else would he want to push this infrastructure? I've read that bill, guys. There's a lot in it, but there's still more to be found out. I mean, I can't say much about it, guys. I really tried to read it. It was fucking painful. It was painful to fucking read. You try to read it. All I can say, guys, is that this is just another clue with Rachel's little drop that this is, they buy influence. Make people pro-Chinese. We're in a pissing contest with Russia and China. We are. It's a reality. That's why the media is always warmongering. They would just wish that we would fucking press the nuke button on Russia and China. They wish. You really think that they don't? Center for Strategic and International Studies dropped this report 2 years ago, before Biden was even president. I bet he knows about it already. And I bet he's trying to do some little infrastructure investmentizing himself. Yeah, it's not for us, guys. I'm trying to figure out who it's for. Now I know who it's for. And now I know what it's for. It's for competition. The old glorious capitalist principle. Competition. Except, is this a competition? Or are we just being made the fool while our fucking dementia-riddled old president fucking shells out some fucking chump change as Xi Jinping makes Asia over in his image? I don't know, guys, but I'll have more answers on the Tuesday's live stream. 9 Central Standard Time. There's a lot of things going on. Kellogg's workers are being permanently replaced. We've got the Supreme Court hearing the abortion ruling, the Dobbs versus Mississippi. Stephanie, thankfully, is going to take some of the slack on that. She's going to look into that while I can focus on this, guys, because I'm smelling the trail of these fucking puppies of the rich. I want to know what they're up to, because I know it's not us. So she's going to talk about abortion. I'm going to talk about this infrastructure bill. Hopefully, we'll have some guests on. Of course, I've already fucking tweeted Mr. Jonathan here. Of course, nobody wants to talk to people who's going to ask them real questions. Hey, Mr. Biden, what's your favorite color? Are we the enemy people, Mr. Biden? Yeah, no. I want to know how you knew this, when you knew it, and does Joe Biden know it? How long did Joe Biden know it? Because he's a fucking crook. It's time to... people have been complaining about me, that my tone, and they've been complaining that I'm disrespectful to our leaders. Well, they've never been our leaders. They're traitors to our country. And the minute that everyone knows that, I can go back to cursing. But until then, guys, it's Tommy Nation Politics, free-thinking, innovative, and totally open-minded, 24/7. And if you'd like to send us some donations, because it's Christmas or the holidays, guys, we really need it. I'm not going to lie. Working class. TNP, capital TNP. Tommy Nation Politics, one word. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. I promise you, every dollar that you send me, I will use to kick the balls of the elites and the establishment in the nuts. And that's my guarantee. Tommy Nation Politics, guys.